our 4,000 foot peak. Weighs about 3 pounds.
Lovely little harp.
The worst thigh cramp ever. What's up, everybody? It's December 31st, 2016, the last day of 2016. It's New Year's Eve. We are here today in Virginia for the first time. We are doing the Three Ridges Trail. We're going to start out here on the Appalachian Trail. We're going to connect onto Mau-Har Trail, do about 5 miles tonight, camp out, and then do the Three Ridges tomorrow. So most of the good views are going to be tomorrow. It's about noon right now, so we're going to go ahead and get started because we got 5 miles to do before it gets dark here in about 5 hours. Should be plenty of time. We got some new gear we're trying out this trip, and really trying the ultralight thing. Me and Ashley are both sub 15 pounds this trip, so we're really excited about that, and we're going to be thankful for that once we start doing this elevation. But all right, let's get started. Today I'm using a new Garmin watch I just got. I've only used it for running so far, but it's actually a Garmin Phoenix, and it's a hiking watch. It has all kinds of cool stuff on it, like a altimeter and a compass. So right now we actually have already went up 400 feet. We have yet to reach the Mau-Har Trail, but I'm looking over here right now. That's probably one of our 4,000 foot peaks that we're going to be on tomorrow.
Getting a bit drafty.
Getting a bit drafty. Anybody that watches my videos, you might have noticed that me and Ashley both have new backpacks on today. She got the Gregory Jade 38. Still pretty light for being a Gregory. I know they're pretty known for being a little bit heavier packs, but right around 3 pounds. And I am rocking the Hyperlight Mountain Gear 2400 Porter. I got a really good deal on it. I couldn't pass it up, and it feels great. That looks pretty daunting from down here. It's probably only about 1,000 feet above us. So we are going down here on Mau-Har. Okay, let's get a good view of this map here. We're right here at this arrow. We're gonna do the Mau-Har. We're gonna go down and try to get to that shelter tonight, Harpers Creek Shelter. Should be about 5 miles. Tomorrow morning, we're gonna have a nice 3-mile uphill climb, and we're gonna get hopefully some great views all the way pretty much back to the car.
The Mau-Har Trail is not an easy shortcut. There's a book to sign in. Oh my God. Yeah.
Pretty nice. Here's a pretty good view of probably the 3 peaks we're going to be doing tomorrow. Not many people like this trail on this Mau-Har. They always say it's very difficult and not near as good of views and stuff as the AT over there, but we're doing it counterclockwise. Most people prefer to do it clockwise, but we're getting the rough one out of the way today, and we'll take our time tomorrow. You having fun yet?
Yeah.
Good. Very, very rocky trail. Not like the annoying softball-sized rocks to where you have nowhere to step. There's actually decent footholds here, going up and down all these hills. I'm loving this pack though. Less than 2 pounds, and it feels great. Definitely the most rocks I've ever seen in my life, I think. Just did a nice 1,000 foot ascent. Still going up. We are about 4.5 miles in, roughly. So we're still doing good on time, and the views up here are getting beautiful. That trail was had a good bit of elevation on it. It wasn't as bad as everybody said, but we are now back on the Appalachian Trail. 0.8 miles from our destination, and it is 3:15, so we are ahead of schedule. So we had a whopping 3.5 hours sleep last night. We decided to order the UFC pay-per-view and have some people over. Yeah, it was fun, but we're pretty tired, so needless to say, we will not be celebrating the new year come midnight. We will hopefully be hours into our night slumber. We'll do some celebrating in the morning maybe. Okay, well, we're pretty much at our campsite. We have reached Harpers Creek, which is our water source, and it is nice and flowing. Just walking around here, there's actually several campsites. One right here. Ashley's that one that we're probably going to take. You can see there's a tent over there in the distance. You liking this one? Yeah. It's nice and flat. Under 15 pounds with about a 4-pound camera. All right, well, it's 4:45. We are camping at 1,700 feet. I tell you, this altimeter has been awesome to have. I really like this watch for running, but I really like it a lot more for hiking. It's really, really cool. It's nice right here. It was really, really windy up top. It looked like on the map we were going to be around 2,200 feet. We're actually a little bit lower than that, and we're down in a little valley, so there's really not a whole lot of wind. Should be a nice warm night's sleep. I'm going to go ahead and start getting the tent set up. We have the normal tent that we normally use, except we left the tent portion of it home. It's just the poles, the footprint, and the rain tarp. Ashley wasn't ready for the full tarp setup this time with the open ends, but I convinced her to try this, so I think she's gonna like it. Here she is in the fast fly setup. This whole configuration here weighs about 3 pounds, so it's not like crazy lightweight, but you know, every little bit helps. That's why we were able to get down so light this time. Maybe we'll wake up and have a few inches of white powder
In our lovely little tarp that we're using in December.
You don't need bug nets for the bugs. Something I was really excited about this trip is the possibility of finding birch trees for tinder. I've yet to find any birch trees on any trails I've hiked in Ohio. So anytime we're out of Ohio, I always have my eye open for them. I told her to keep her eye open for them today, and she spotted 2 right off the trail. And I grabbed a little bit off of them, thinking I'd find some more. We didn't see any more the rest of the day though, so I'm really glad she spotted those. But I managed to get a little bit of the bark off of them, so I'm gonna scrape it up, make some feather sticks, and get our fire going here. Something new I got too. We got a bunch of new gear this trip. I got a Mau-Har Eldris that Santa brought me this year. I'm really excited about this. It's got the 90-degree edge on it. Works great with the ferro rod. I actually took my other Mau-Har and did take it on the grinding wheel, and it works really good too now with that. But I just got this mainly for backpacking because it's a super light knife and just fits in my pocket. Doesn't weigh anything, and I just wanted one, I guess. With all the fires happening this year, figured we'd take some extra precaution. Got a little something special for the New Year's celebration. Part of the reason our packs were so light is because we are actually going to sleep in one sleeping bag. It's not a mummy bag, it's just a rectangular bag, and we actually have a down quilt and an extra blanket as well. So we should be really fine warmth-wise. Our body heat's going to generate a lot of heat in that bag. But yeah, I'm going to get that stuff out now because it's starting to get dark, and I need to eye up a tree here to go hang a bear bag as well. So I need to do that before it gets too dark because it's really not fun doing that with a headlamp. That was pretty good. But the whole rope went over. I usually step on the end of the rope or grab it. I didn't get it in time. There it is. We're gonna go ahead and cook our food on the stove. We could cook it on the fire, but we brought fuel because we weren't sure if we were allowed having fires here or not. I know I've seen thru hikers in the past that said you can't have fires in Virginia, but it must just be a couple sections in Virginia, because it said you're allowed having fires here. So I don't feel like carrying the fuel tomorrow. I brought it, so we're just gonna go ahead and use it. We have these mountain houses. They're super lightweight, really easy. You just pour in the water and go. But we wanted to use those because they're, obviously we were going light. So Old Smoky 128 proof Blue Flame Moonshine. To a new year, 2017. New year, backpacking and new gear. Woo! That warmed me up right quick. Our water's about done boiling here. We're just gonna eat our dinner, just hang out on this New Year's Eve in the woods, and yeah, probably just go to bed in a little bit. Probably not gonna film anything else, so see you in the morning. Well, it's 7 o'clock right now. It's about 35 degrees out. It didn't really get much colder than that all night, but we were actually kind of chilly all night. We probably could have used some insulated sleeping pads. But alright, it's time to get up and make some oatmeal, make some hot tea, get our bodies moving, get a little bit warmed up, and we're gonna get on that trail pretty decently early here. It's really not too bad. We've gotten up a lot of mornings that were way colder than this. I mean, it's not even freezing, so we can be thankful for that. This mountain here, we believe, is the Priest. There's another hiking trail that goes up to the top of that. It is actually the tallest mountain in the area, I believe. Getting up there. My pole just collapsed. All right, well, it is 9:52. We have gone 1,300 feet in this ascent in 2 miles. We are standing on Chimney Rocks. It's one of the, I think it's one of the 3 peaks, isn't it? And we have about a mile to go. So a mile, another 1,000 feet, and we'll be at the very top of our trip. Yeah, it's going good so far. It's definitely a hell of a climb. I read some reviews about some thru hikers that said if you're doing a northbound, this is the hardest climb thus far. So yeah, we're just taking it easy though, being really sure-footed and trying not to burn our legs out too early today. We passed the high point of the trail, but there really wasn't any overlooks, so we didn't stop and film or eat or anything. But now it looks like we're actually gonna get a view. Hey, look. There's a laminated map.
That's really cool.
We camped here. We did all this 3 miles up to the top. Now we're kind of tapering down a little bit, and we're right here where this little camera is. We camped down in there last night. We hiked up this mountain, around it. Right there is the chimney top, the Chimney Rocks, I'm sorry. Then we came over here, went up to the very top here, which is the highest point in our trip. And we've been coming around here, and now we're gonna sit here and eat our lunch. I can't tell if I'm in focus or not, it's so bright up here. This overlook is awesome. It has a really good view of the Priest Mountain here. We're about 11 miles in for the total hike so far. My watch shows a little bit more mileage than hers does because I've been running back and forth to get the camera so many times. But her watch, we'll have to get home and check out all the stats. I'll have all the cool elevation stuff. She'll have the actual mileage, which we're banking on being around 13 and a half, maybe 14 miles is what it seems like it's gonna be. Probably one of my favorites thus far, gotta admit it. Pretty difficult. I gotta say I like this better than Dolly Sods.
I knew when I found this hike, I knew this was going to be the one you chose simply because of that.
I like the AT, I like real mountains. You know, whenever we did Dolly Sods, I remember in that video I had stated that that was the hardest trail we did thus far. which I don't really know how. I was like 10 pounds heavier. I had tons of camera gear that trip, and a lot of those rocks I was walking on them wrong. Like, you know, they'd stick out of the ground and I'd kind of be stepping on the points of them and balancing, and really hurt my feet early on, like day one. So I think that's why I thought that that was one of the hardest trips I've been on. You know, elevation wise, Dolly Sods was easy. That 3-mile hill we did right there was probably the hardest elevation we've ever done. I don't know, we started at 1700, went up to about 4, so whatever that is in 3 miles. So that was steep. All right, we have about 3.5 miles till we're out. It is 10 till 12. I don't know when we're gonna be out, but we're done eating now, so we're just gonna start busting out these last couple of miles and get out of here in good time today. When I was doing my research for this, most of the reviews said to do a clockwise loop starting at Reed's Gap, and I have to disagree with them. Going counterclockwise and staying at the Harpers Creek Shelter, you know, we were fully rested, feeling good. We just took our time up that hill. You know, I can see a lot of people not agreeing with me on this, but I will do uphill over downhill any day. I start going downhill a bunch and my legs just start shaking, and it's just hell on my thighs and my shins. I don't know, I just like going uphill better, I guess. You can take your time uphill, downhill, it's just kind of like gravity's just forcing you down. You're almost running down the hill half the time. Now, if you do choose to do the counterclockwise loop like we did, I strongly advise being at least under 20 pounds total, because it would have been rough with my normal 30-pound loadout. People said Mau-Har was super treacherous, and it had a couple big hills, but I don't think it was that bad. Definitely some rock scrambling you're gonna have to do if you're doing it clockwise, but it wasn't too bad. There's actually a really nice, like, kind of a little swimming hole on it too. If you're in here in the summer, yeah, definitely you'd want to jump in that. On the Mau-Har Trail, there was one complicated section, and that is when you're at the Campbell's Creek campsite, there's a sign that says waterfall with an arrow. Now you can see that trail where that goes, but it's really hard to find the Mau-Har Trail. You just want to look up the hill basically, and you'll see blaze on a tree about, I don't know, 20-30 feet up there. It's kind of hard to see, and honestly the sign is kind of up on the hill too, so it's pretty easy to miss. She saw the sign, I didn't even see it, but had we not done a little bit of research and saw that people talked about how, you know, technical that little section is, we might have had some trouble finding the trail there. But other than that, everything is pretty well marked. The AT is very well marked. But yeah, it's been a great hike so far, and I'm just gonna keep going. Just found some little wood chips laying on the ground here that are blue. I've heard people talk about them before, mainly Adventure Archives, which, funny enough, we were just talking about them. But yeah, I've never seen this before. I've always kept my eye out for it, and it's just kind of cool to see it. I think if I remember correctly, the blue wood is caused by like a fungus or something. I'm not really sure. I'll have to look that up when I get home. Just past B Mountain. There wasn't really any good clear overlooks or anything, so I didn't film it. But we are descending right now. We're gonna be probably a quarter mile away from the Mau-Pin shelter, which is the shelter that we passed yesterday. And then it's just gonna be up and then back down, and we'll be at the car. So we are rounding the end of our journey here, which I'm kind of glad. We were just going up that last hill and I got the worst thigh cramp ever. I actually had to take a moment and sit down and figure it's probably from not drinking enough water. I've really only drank about a half a liter all today, and we've been going pretty hard. I guess we haven't been going hard, the trail's been hard. So yeah, just sat there and chugged some water for a couple minutes, feeling pretty good now. This might look familiar right here. So now we just have one hill to climb and then back down, and we are done. That's a workout right there. I feel really good. That hike was awesome. It exceeded my expectations. It's definitely worth the drive.
I also don't want to switch
Right there. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you made it through that whole thing, thanks a bunch. If you liked the video, if you want to see more, like, comment, and subscribe right here. I'll put some of my other trip videos up here for you guys to check out if you want. If you didn't notice, about halfway through that video, the audio got kind of weird and buzzy, and that's because I bumped a volume knob on my mic, turned the volume all the way down, and it was just a nightmare to try to edit. But you know, it happens. But yeah, I got a bunch of videos planned. I actually have about 2 or 3 packs I want to do reviews / tests on. And I also want to get back out into the woods in like the next month or two and make another trip video. So thanks again, guys, and stay tuned.